Some are regretful, some maintain their cold-blooded attitude, while others brag about the fame they earned through their crimes.
Hey, so if I Google, I told them, well, if it makes 1 million hits, you get paid by YouTube. So, Channel 7 News, I believe, is going to be the one that gets...
In today's cases, we will meet such criminals that even others of the same kind are wary of.
Disclaimer.
In 2005, Boston, Massachusetts, resident Esteban Carpio was arrested after stabbing an 85-year-old woman, Madeline Gata. During the interrogation, one of the two detectives exited the room to get Esteban a cup of water. Even the most creative criminal writer will be shocked by what comes next. Esteban saw right away that the detective was gone from the room. He took Detective Sergeant James L. Allen's revolver in a split second and killed him with 2 shots. Then he ran for it, leaping out of the interview room window on the 3rd floor. The pursuit got underway. Luckily, he was captured about an hour later.
So rarely does one story so capture the public sensibilities and the public curiosity as a story like this.
He donned a white mask meant to deter criminals from biting or spitting on people when he was brought in for trial the next day. His eyes and forehead were so red that he was almost unrecognizable. He also had swelling in his forehead, cheek, and craniofacial area. In the end, Esteban received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. In addition to Esteban's horrifying crime, his family members' startling responses also sparked attention. Esteban's family members spoke out against police brutality as the judge sentenced him to life in prison.
It was police brutality. He was mentally ill, and he needed help, and we couldn't get it. We tried and tried. And he didn't deserve this.
Nonetheless, an FBI examination revealed that, considering the situation, the cops did not use excessive force. According to the investigation's findings, Esteban's injuries were caused by his daring leap from the building's 3rd floor window. His wounds matched the amount of force required to bring him down after his altercation with law enforcement. 3 murders require a cold-blooded killer, and it takes even more cold-blooded killers to feel no guilt for these crimes. In one instance, Michael Madison abducted and killed 3 individuals, concealing their corpses in trash bags. Michael was raised in an abusive and disorderly home. That may have had some influence on how he turned out, but it didn't absolve him of his crimes. Michael also claimed the life of Cheryl DeTerry, and the court called her father to provide a victim impact statement. Mr. Terry turned to face Michael, who was seated a few feet away, as he made his way to the front of the court, and Michael gave him a menacing smile. Terry's father became enraged at the self-satisfied smile. As he ran towards him, he threw himself across the table and attacked Michael. We could almost have 2 murder cases on our hands if not for the prompt involvement of law enforcement, who apprehended him just in time. The court became agitated due to his behavior, and there was a 15-minute delay. The last person laughing when Michael received the death penalty was Terry's father.
I am struck by the sheer inhumanity of what one human being can do to not 1, but 3 human beings. You stripped them from the waist down. You folded them in half, binding them so that their feet were up by their ears. You wrapped them in multiple layers of trash bags, and you discarded them. Accordingly, the sentence of death is imposed upon the defendant, Michael Madison, on counts 1, 4, and 7.
According to the judge, life in prison is too mild for heinous offenders like Michael. Michael remained silent and did not respond to the judge's query. He had absolutely no regret. Judge Eugene Lucci and Manson Bryant have a history together. Since a juvenile case in 1999, Bryant had actually appeared before Judge Lucci's court more than twice. Bryant had spent a lot of time in and out of jail due to his criminal past. The violent home invasion and robbery while still on parole are the reasons for this appearance appearance before Judge Lucci this time. Bryant climbed through the victim's window with his accomplice, held them at gunpoint, and took their belongings. He is accused of kidnapping, abduction, aggravated burglary, and aggravated robbery for this.
Followed by count 2 for a total of 22 years with credit for 231 days. The court determines that you have or will have the ability to pay restitution.
He was given a 4-year prison sentence the last time he appeared before Judge Lucci. Nevertheless, the maximum jail term for this particular offense is 30 years. The judge sentenced Bryant to 22 years in jail after reviewing the evidence and concluding that he was truly sorry for his actions. But Bryant's regrets must not have been profound, since he erupted without warning, cursing the judge and calling him a racist. Judge Lucci continued to yell for a time before losing patience. After giving Bryant's remorseful speech some thought, he increased his sentence by 6 years, a total of 28 years. After then, Bryant was removed from the courtroom forcefully. Bryant's attorney, Daniel Williams, stated that his client made a regrettable but emotional choice and that the hearings are often a stressful experience. He said his client had shown regret during the trial and had been composed before the judgment.
Well, it was clear that the remorse that he was trying to portray was phony, and that he wasn't remorseful at all, and that if given the chance, if I let him loose on society, he's going to prey on other people.
The case was taken to an appeals court in 2020, but Bryant was not successful, and the ruling was maintained. During the first week of June 2022, he filed an appeal of the ruling, swearing at a judge. According to the Ohio Supreme Court, is only grounds for contempt of court at most, and does not carry a 6-year jail sentence. According to the court, a trial judge cannot impose a heavier punishment on a defendant just because they were disrespectful or aggressive. In what appeared to be a scene from Fast and Furious, Ryan Stone stole a car in Longmont, which had a 4-year-old inside of it. Ryan led the police on a 60-mile high-speed chase. After Ryan destroyed the car he hijacked and was apprehended running on foot, the 90-minute car pursuit came to an end, but not before he struck a van, pulled the driver out, and took off with it. Ryan broke both of his legs and laid a tire deflation device on a state trooper while attempting to flee. Before he was caught, he also hit a number of other vehicles and took control of 2 more. After being placed in a waiting cell, Ryan was caught bragging to a female guest on a tape that was shown to the court that he was now well known and had made headlines across the globe. Because of the large number of views the car chase received on YouTube, he also discussed the prospect of getting compensated by the platform.
If you type in Grand Theft Auto on YouTube, my comes up first. So if I Google, I told him, well, if it makes 1 million hits, you get paid by YouTube. So, Channel 7 News, I believe, is going to be the one that gets paid for that.
But when he was taken before the court to stand trial, his arrogant demeanor quickly altered. He seemed upset, accusing narcotics of causing the crazy vehicle chase.
I pray you leave me time to start a family of my own, with my beautiful wife.
According to Ryan's family, he battled drug addiction and begged the judge to view him as a disturbed young man rather than a violent individual. Their pleadings had little effect on the judge. Ryan was found guilty on 18 charges, including attempted manslaughter, first-degree assault, child abuse, auto theft, and was given a sentence of 160 years in prison by a jury. In 2013, Portia Brooks, then 20 years old, and her boyfriend, Aaron Martin, were relaxing in a parked car in Norwood when they had no idea that a teenager would in a matter of minutes completely transform their lives. Smith Riley, 19, and his 2 accomplices got close to the car to rob the people inside. Aaron was told to get out of the car. He must have been quite dissatisfied that Aaron did not have any valuables on him because he shot Aaron in the head before shooting Portia. Although he survived the incident, Portia's lover suffered lifelong brain damage. Regretfully, after 3 days in the hospital, Portia passed away. In 2016, the police located Smith Riley thanks to a tip from Crime Stoppers. There was a review of the case. Smith Riley was accused of 2 counts of felonious assault, aggravated robbery, and attempted murder, and aggravated murder. He entered a guilty plea to avoid being given the death penalty, but instead he was given a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
Go back, I'm so sorry. This is what I'm comfortable with.
His attorney attempted to contend that he is deserving of forgiveness.
This is somebody that feels genuine remorse. This is somebody that thinks about this every day, and he knows that he can't go back in time and undo what he did.
Portia's relatives were asked to give a victim impact statement.
What I have left because of his greed, his selfishness, his complete disregard of and disrespect of others and life.
Riley received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. And if you want to see more questionable cops and insane arrests, click the next video on screen.